Christmas garage. 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Got a bunch of stuff to do to this. We've got front and rear brakes, pads, all that fancy stuff there. We've got valve cover gaskets we got to do to this. And we also got to do the dreaded heater core. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really All right, first things first, you've got to evacuate your AC system. As you can tell, well, I don't know if you can see it, but I can tell by the way that it is, the heater core has already been bypassed. It's been bypassed for some time. It's been leaking. They hadn't had a heater on this for a while, but it's summertime now. They want to get it fixed before wintertime rolls around. But we have evacuated the AC system and contained that old refrigerant so it doesn't leak into the, that bubble around the world there. And we've got that all taken care of. And as I dig into it, we're gonna have to tear the whole dash apart and everything. And all right, to unhook these AC lines after you've got the system evacuated, you pull these clips off like this. Pull both of them off. See, one smaller than the other. Then there's a little spring in there that's got to be released. It's back in the back side. And you got to have either a tool like this, clamps around, you can push it in there, or some of these little contraptions here. They come in all shapes and sizes. There we go. All right. See how that works? See that spring down in there? This piece goes in there, pushes that spring back so you can get it off. So, yep, there you go. When you put it back together, you just plug it in. I'm sure that there's a couple of these screws down here that are going to be to the air box, but we're going to wait until we get further along. So, next step, we're going to go inside. When I got to undo these bolts out here, I'll show you how that works. All right, all this has got to come out. Heater core's up under there. Okay. Well, that's okay. That's probably been off before. Looks like Phillips. Everything's Phillips. Let me get an old drill so we get them out faster. Alright, we're going to start tearing this thing apart. Should come apart pretty easily. Let me get a container to put all these screws in. Somebody put some old caulking on the top of the dash up there, so that was a regular repair genius. Alright, we're going to get most of these screws out now. When you're doing this for a customer, I always like to leave as many screws out as I can. I leave them in the cup holder. It keeps them guessing. spider tore apart pretty good. We've just took all the exterior stuff off. The heart and soul of this dash is still solid. As you can see, we've got bolts here. They look like they're going to be 10 millimeter. Oh, there's a bolt, nut, and there's a bolt over there. I'm looking to see what else. Probably going to take these kick panels off. I'm going to do that next. See where it's held down there. Probably going to have to drop the steering wheel down. We're pretty close to, I don't want to take it completely out. I want to be able to rock it back just enough. So I'm going to drop the steering wheel down, rock it back enough to get this box all out. So we're pretty close. I'm going to take these kick panels off now. Well, it's like this. I've been working on this for about an hour, a little over an hour. I unhooked all these wiring harnesses. There's a main big fat wiring harness. This one right here, it runs down. The only way I can get it unhooked is if I unhook the steering column, and there's a plug way up in there. I didn't feel like doing all that. When I can move this back up out of the way, I put a tie strap on it to hold it out of the way. It's just kind of holding on there. And there's your heater core right there, fellas. Round strap. I'm so glad it's not humid out here. I mean, when it's 0% humidity, you hardly sweat at all. It's just fantastic. Let me show y'all what I found. A few screws back here, 4 to be exact, 7/16. They're on the big long studs. There's one right behind the motor right here. There's one down low, down there. The wiring harness is clipped on the high one. And then you got to pull the reservoir tank out so you can undo the computer. I didn't unplug it, but I did undo it. It's got 3 5/16 or 8 millimeter little screws on it, like this. Went right through there. And then I got that last one out that's behind the computer right there. So it appears to be loose now. We're gonna see if we can snatch it out. Yep. Voila. Yeah, you got it. Don't try that. Yeah, it's probably never gonna go back in there. I'll keep y'all posted. Well, we've got her apart. There's the heater core. You can see she's been leaking for some time. Here's the old box coming away from the firewall. These are those screws you can see through the firewall. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We didn't break any of them off. That's always a plus. Heater core sits right down in here in this slot. We're going to try to replace on some of this foam. This foam is, yeah, fella, she's pretty well gone to the bad. This thing should pop off. Yep, we'll pop that off, and I think I got some foam we can replace on some of that stuff. That stuff is just all 2 pieces. So when I got her cleaned up and going back in there, I'll get back with y'all. We've got this air box pulled out here, and it had a bunch of this old deteriorated foam all over everywhere. So what I've been doing is going around getting all this stuff off. And we've got some new stuff we're going to put back on there. And oh, look at there, that pulled right on off. I love it when that happens. We're going to vacuum all this old foam and stuff out of here. We're going to get it right, fellas. They're going to have some heat when we're done. And I noticed that the old vacuum line that feeds all these controllers, well, she was cracked all up and broken. So that's probably some of the reason that none of the controls were working on the inside and it wasn't switching back and forth from defrost. So once I get all this stuff cleaned off and I'm going back with it, I'll get back with y'all. we go, fellas. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna stink. So I'm probably gonna be all in y'all's way so you can't see, but there ain't no other way to do this. Here goes nothing. Got to get this carpet out of the way down here. It kind of folded up under there. There we go. She might go in there now. All these holes line up. I got those on. Close, fellas. Real close. Oh, there. Guess what? She just fell right in place. What was holding me up was the carpet was hanging on this drain plug down here. She's right where she's supposed to be. Look at that. Yep, when she pulls up, she's going to be good to go. I'm going to pull it up just like that. She's going to be ready. I'm excited. There we go. Yep, I'll look out underneath the hood, make sure everything's kosher out there before I tie everything down, but it's looking promising. All right, well, looks like that bolt come back through, that one over there come back through. Both those AC lines are through. Heater core lines are through. Hey, I'm excited. Matter of fact, I might go on and put a few of these on real quick. I think these people might have lived around a pine tree, maybe. Just maybe. Possibly. We are in North Carolina. I think the pine tree is the state tree. Perfect. That's the one that was behind the old computer here. See, that computer goes back up there like that now. These bolts go back in this computer. There we go. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That plastic piece just slid right down in place. The hardest part was these two studs down here. Once I finagled the bottom in place, I rocked the top over, lined these studs up, and it just kind of flopped in. None of the bolts are in right now. It's just sitting here. I've got these sides you only had to take out, this one here and that one on that side. And there's those two bolts and what, 1, 2, 3, 4 studs up top, and it just kind of hangs on them. And it's just sitting there. There's nothing tight on it at all. So I've got all these harnesses I got to plug back up. And I got to put the steering column back up, put all the bolts back in this. But yeah, that's kind of scary how easy it just fell in place. I was just checking to see how aggravating it was going to be, and I was going to film it, and it said, and I said, oh. So I didn't want to take it back out. So this is where we're at. I'll time lapse you to the end. we're going to use all the screws too. That's always good when you use up all the screws. Always a plus. Always a plus. There you have it. This job was not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. She was bad, really bad. You know, if I had to do it again, I could probably do it a little quicker because I know where all the hard to get to bolts are. These two down here were pretty tricky to get to. And the wiring harnesses were a little tricky getting hooked back up. And having to take the tank out of the front up there to get to those bolts in the firewall was probably the worst part of the whole job. But other than that, she's done. So just remember, until next time, if she's giving trouble, she's going to the bad.